Some sisters are reciting the Quran on YouTube by openly, not with the hijab. Is a lot. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah is something very brilliant thing that the sisters are being reciting a Quran and they memorize the Quran. But the reciting the Quran openly in a public, not except in the middle of a woman, and that is with the niqab, because this is also something like a cunning deception of a shaitan that would go to a sister. The shaitan will go to a sister and whisper in her heart that you memorize the Quran. Now listen, this is something very important. The sister is a Quran memorizer. Shaitan would come in her heart. Shaitan will tell her, you are a Quran reciter and you're going to become a very inspiration for other people. So make your recitation on the YouTube and show the world. Now let's go back to the commandment of the Quran. The Quran said a woman should stay in the veil. So this is how the shaitan is deceiving. She's a Quran memorizer, but she has an open page where the shaitan is being deceiving her, telling her that okay, you go into the public or you go put your videos on the YouTube and people get inspired and they will memorize the Quran and you will get the reward for that. So this is like a deceiving of a shaitan, because the Quran said a woman should stay in the niqab. Now the second example, in one of the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said one of the women was trying to do some type of an agreement with the Prophet ﷺ, and she forwarded her hand to get a bait with her, like an agreement, some type of agreement. And then the Prophet ﷺ screamed and asked Aisha radiallahu anha, asked this woman to keep her hand away from me because I do not even like to see a hand of a woman. So these are the best examples. Number one, the Quran said the woman should stay in a veil. Second example, the Quran didn't permit that. The Prophet ﷺ didn't permit that. Now those sisters who are in the deception of a shaitan whisper by putting the videos on the YouTube, now let's look at the example of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, I do not even like to see the woman's hand. Now those women who are reciting a naat and those women having a full makeup and standing before the public, and the men are watching them, and on the YouTube there's millions of people are watching the sister. The Quran said this is forbidden. The Prophet said this is forbidden. So who are these sisters are following? They are following shaitan, and this is deception of a shaitan in the name of a Quran. So how does the shaitan deceiving the sisters? Shaitan is deceiving the sisters in the name of Quran. Okay, so you recite the Quran, and so many sisters and brothers are going to watch you on the YouTube, and you become like very great inspiration. But rather you do not get inspiration, but the shaitan is deceiving them because there's millions of eyes watching you. Now go back to the Quran. The Quran says the woman should stay in a niqab or the hijab. And the second example, the Prophet ﷺ said, I do not even want to see a woman's hand. So these are the good examples that the woman should stay in a hijab, should not be openly. If she wants to recite the Quran on her YouTube, she has to be fully covered, except a very little part of the eye should be visible and giving a beautiful message to the public where she's reciting a Quran or talking about Islam, calling to Muslims or the non-Muslims to Islam. That is an appropriate way to do that. But putting up your open face in the YouTube, there's millions of people watching there, reciting a naat, though these things are contradicting Quran and the Sunnah. This is not something from the Islam. They have their own justifying themselves that the shaitan is whispering in the heart to do this, so people are getting inspired. But rather than getting sin, they are also making other people to sin by watching the sisters.